at shortstop for Stanford this season. Meanwhile, the defensive alignments for Santa Clara are as follows. Tarantino out in left with John Baring doing the DHing this evening. Britton making every single one of his 200-plus starts at his career spot in center field. Robert Hipwell makes his home return to Santa Clara. Came back over the weekend for the first time in 2024 and will be over at third base. All behind the right-handed arm of Jace Gilmore, the freshman hailing from Rockland, California, out of Whitney High School. Making his 13th appearance of the season, has been primarily the Tuesday man and will get a tall task here this evening against a potent Stanford Cardinal offense. Stands 6'3", 385 pounds, coming off a couple of rocky appearances. Last time he was at home, he went two and a third innings of quality baseball against Hawaii. Meanwhile, your keys to the game here this evening, brought to you by Equipment Tool Shed Rentals. The return of Robert Hipwell. Again, his first start at home this season. Trying to also snap a 3-game skid are the Broncos of Santa Clara. And Stanford has been a team that's been carried by the home run this year, and a team that also has 483 wins since the start of 2011. That is most in the state of any California program. First pitch of the game by Gilmore. The leadoff man, Owen Cobb, has popped up to the right side. Stack over that way. And it looked like it actually hit off one of the wires above the netting. And that is strike one. First pitch at 6:05 Pacific time. 63 degrees, mostly sunny. A couple of scattered clouds overhead. Wind blowing 9 miles per hour from right field to left as the leadoff man, Owen Cobb, is behind in the count. 0-1. Gilmore got hit around against Sacramento State his last time out as he buries a pitch low and works ahead 0-2 against the Stanford second baseman. Hails from the Pacific Northwest. But prior to that, Gilmore had been tough to touch from March 2nd to April 16th. About a month and a half of quality pitching as he gets a swing and a miss there. Kept out of the turf by Steck. And there's one away to begin the ball game. That swing and miss ability is something that a pitching staff, or pitching coach, I should say, has really tried to work on with Gilmore. Only 13 punch-outs through 22 and 2/3 innings so far this year. Has walked 10. And now he faces Ethan Hucht, a .326 hitter in 31 games. And Gilmore misses outside. Hucht has not went deep so far this year. Just one of 2 Cardinal in the lineup today without a home run, but has driven in 7. Started 22 of his 31 games. That pitch is high. Now 2 balls and no strikes from Gilmore. Calling balls and strikes is Alex Nash as the 2-0 pitch is chopped up the third baseline and foul. Call made by Brian Klein right there over at third. Meanwhile, the first base umpire is Bill Shortridge. There is Robert Hipwell again making his return, his home debut after picking up a couple of multi-hit games this weekend and what was a Saturday doubleheader. There are your officials this evening. 2-1 pitch is upstairs. So very much looking forward to having Hipwell back. This part of that order. Well, this is a Stanford team at 9-9 in Pac-12 play. Swing and a miss there, and a hitter's count and hot. Now finds himself in a 3-2 count. Stanford has won 4 of its last 5 after dropping its 4 previous before that, but coming off a nice series victory this weekend at home against 16th-ranked Oregon. The payoff. Swing and a miss. Something soft from Gilmore that time. And the freshman has back-to-back punch-outs to begin the ball game. And so in steps Court McDonald, who has hit safely in 5 straight. 13 of his last 14 games has found himself aboard. Average all the way up to 341. The pitch. That's in for a strike. McDonald has 8 extra base hits this year, 23 RBI. The 0-1 is inside. Hipwell, even with the bag over at third base, rests the infield back all the way around. when pushing the American flag out towards left. And that is a hit by pitch, as it actually looked like McDonald anticipated it being closer to the plate. He jumped into that ball. Still technically made an effort to get out of the way, but in doing so, I think he actually jumped into that pitch. And so Stanford's got a 2-out base runner. You don't see that too often. And so here comes the cleanup man, Malcolm Moore, as we take another look at the hit by pitch. Again, he just jumped into it. I have not seen that. An incorrect anticipation. As here's the cleanup hitting catcher, Moore. The first pitch to him is inside, ball 1. Moore has been a revelation as McDonald's over there at first base, chatting away with Efren Manzo. Preseason All-American, first team, preseason All-Pac-12, Golden Spikes Buster Posey Award and Bobby Bragdon Award watch list as he ropes the ball down the right field line and might head for 2. The runner from first, McDonald, is going to be stopped at third base as O'Hara plays it in. Cleary cuts it off. And all of a sudden, after the hit by pitch, Stanford's got something brewing here in the first. So Gilmore, after retiring the first 2 batters of the game via the K, has allowed a couple of base runners, and now Jimmy Matt-Eye will attempt to capitalize. A lot of underclassmen in the lineup tonight for Stanford, including this sophomore who's hitting .300 this year, 4 homers, 15 doubles. Lead the lineup tonight. He swings and hits one softly to Hipwell. Over to third, he'll gobble it up. A little high, but Manzo hauls it in, side retired. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left in scoring position. A clean first inning for Gilmore. Santa Clara's offense coming to the plate when we return right here on ESPN+.
Don't forget that it's the marketing table high ratings for the Rich Bronco contest.
Home half of the first inning on the way between Santa Clara and Stanford. Evan Giddings with you on ESPN+, and it's time to take a look at the Broncos' bats, led by John Bering at the top, average around .350. Robert Hipwell making his home debut and batting an even .500 after a 4-for-8 weekend. Of course, joined in the middle by the mainstays of O'Hara and Manzo. Ben Steck, the Buster Posey Award watch list recipient, right there at 5, all under the 7th-year head coach in Rusty Filter. Meanwhile, for Stanford, defensively aligned in the outfield, Nat Hot McDonald left to right, Becerra, Haskins, Cobb, and Larson on the infield. Moore doing the catching with Som the DH, all for the right-hander Ryan Speciak. And Speciak, in his first year out of Goleta, California, stands 6'1", nearly 200 pounds. Has been hit around a little bit this year, a 9.16 ERA across 18 2/3 frames. Has struck out 16 while walking 13. His last time out against Sacramento State went 4 1/3 and gave up 2 earned. And so he'll face John Bering to begin the bottom of the first inning. No score after Jace Gilmore stranded a couple of base runners in scoring position in the top half of the frame. As Bering getting the night off from fielding duties. Put those Nike cleats right on top of the plate. First pitch on the way from Speciak is down to the turf for ball 1. Well, of course, Santa Clara is coming off a little bit of a tough week. Took an L last Tuesday at Cal Poly. Fell in a Saturday double dipper against USC in a 12-11 fashion. Then got bludgeoned by Sac State. Second offering to Bering is up high. Ball 2. Bering this year hitting .345 with 17 extra base hits, second most on the team. That's driven in 21. And the third baseman, Becerra, is like 45 feet away from home plate. And there's the first strike. I mean, that is an aggressive shift. Pretty much leave yourself open to anything hot at the corner. As the 2-1 pitch, Bering stares at and takes strike 2. You can see Becerra right behind Speciak, now back up to his typical positioning. David Esker not wasting any possible opportunity to cut off a bunt for Behring as he reaches out and sends it down the right field line. It's hooking foul. I think Behring was hopeful but not expecting, as you can see he took the bat all the way with him to first. I mean, with the way this guy hits, I wouldn't be surprised if he took his bat to class. If he took his bat, of course, to practice in the cages, but keeps it close to him at all times. It's the kind of relationship that John Behring appears to have with hitting in general. Second nature. 2-2, he keeps alive. Started in 27 games this year. And where he's able to do damage at the dish does not end when he gets on base, as he's trying to work himself aboard to lead off this bottom of the first inning for Santa Clara. Speciak peers over the top of the mitt and delivers. Behring sends it back out of play. Santa Clara rocking the alternate black uniforms. Broncos across the chest in cursive, kind of with a black and silver silhouette opposite Stanford. Their classic road grays. Stanford also in cursive across the chest. Here's the pitch. Behring reaches out, sends it up the middle, where the second baseman Cobb has it, and he gets it to first base just in time to retire Behring. So a lengthy first at-bat results in out number one, and here comes Michael O'Hara.
Right fielder, number 5, Michael O'Hara.
Santa Clara this season has been pretty much feast or famine. Tuesday games, they're 2-5, but in conference play, you can see on your screen, 6-6 have been all sweeps in both directions. Here's the first pitch to O'Hara. That's low and inside. To the senior right fielder, who's hitting .267 across 34 starts, 2 homers, has driven in 16. Outfield, swung left. Becerra crept in at third base. And O'Hara sends that ball foul. And what I mean by sweeps in both fashions, you just look at the end of March, 3 losses to Portland, and then they follow up the next weekend with 3 victories against San Francisco. Fast forward into April, a road sweep suffered at the hands of Gonzaga, bouncing back with a home sweep against Pepperdine. A week later, O'Hara now behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So this is a Santa Clara team that, of course, is coming off a West Coast Conference tournament championship, beating Portland, in fact, twice during that tournament run. But they have been up and down this year. Appear hopefully with Robert Hipwell, who is on deck, to be finding their stride and playing their best baseball at the right time. 1-2 pitch is an off speed. That's down to the turf for ball 2. Kind of a similar story with Stanford. I mean, they're coming off of 3 straight NCAA tournament appearances, most by a West Coast program in recent memory. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, a back foot breaking ball by Speciak, and O'Hara goes down on strikes. So 2 gone now for Santa Clara, and here is Robert Hipwell. Made his season debut on Saturday, and making his home debut here on Tuesday night. Immediately got to work and back-to-back multi-hit games against both Sac State and USC. And also had extra base hits. A warm welcome to Robert Hipwell, the powerful left-handed bat. First pitch to him is low. 4 hits and 3 doubles, a couple of which in the first game, a close 12-11 loss, as the Santa Cruz native takes ball 2. Hipwell was a major force in the middle of the order last season for Santa Clara, but unfortunately had to miss the last 16 games. And this year has been out again up until this previous weekend, so a lot of time off for Hipwell. Santa Clara is happy to have him back. 2-0 pitch, downstairs. And just does so much to impact the rest of the order. O'Hara sliding up to that 2 spot. Manzo can be back in the cleanup spot. Everyone just moves around Hipwell. As the 3-0 is inside and low, and there's a 4-pitch walk. With a good eye as well. Gives the shush sign to his dugout. It's a tongue twister. And in steps Zephyr Manzo. Well, speaking of middle of the order mainstays, Manzo has been exactly that now in his senior season for Santa Clara, really for the last 3 years, but especially this season. And a 3.02, 8 homers, total of 21 extra base hits, and he's driven in a team-high 33 runs. As Speciak now stretches and misses with a breaking pitch. So similar to Gilmore in the top half of the inning, got the first 2 men out and then allowed a free pass. See if Santa Clara can put together a little 2-out rally. The pitch. Manzo slices it down the right field line. It's headed towards the corner and it's foul. 2 close calls already in this inning. First for the leadoff man Bering, and now for the cleanup hitter Manzo. Wind is blistering here at Stephen Schott Stadium, but not quite enough. Manzo coming off a multi-hit performance on Saturday. He's got 12 such games this year. The pitch, low and away. Demands and deserves extra attention from every arm that takes the hill, both home and road. Infield, a couple of steps to the left, and the pitch is a fastball in for a strike. Speciak. Fastball, breaking ball, changeup, pretty common combination. As he works here from the first base side, the 2-2 pitch, Manzo fights off. As the Stanford starter already nears 20 pitches here in this first inning. Trying to work around 2 of the most dangerous at-bats in the West Coast Conference. One of them stands on first base in the form of Hipwell. Manzo slightly hunched. The pitch, he swings and misses. Nice offering from Speciak, who picks up a couple of Ks in the first and keeps Santa Clara silent. 1 runner left on base after the walk. No score through 1 here at Stephen Schott Stadium. I'll be getting with you on ESPN Plus. We'll be back after this.
Leading off for the Cardinal, number 16.
Beginning the second inning for Stanford. Here on Tuesday evening in Santa Clara is going to be the 6-hole hitter and first baseman Brandon Larson against Jace Gilmore. First pitch to him is taken low for ball 1. Evan Giddings with you on ESPN Plus here. Larson will be followed by Charlie Somm and Trevor Haskins. 6, 7, and 8 due up for Stanford in their second set of at-bats. And the 1-0 pitch is way outside for ball 2. Gilmore maneuvered around 2 runners in scoring position in the first. Also struck out a pair in the inning. His infield now moves all the way over to the right as a swing and the miss. As Larson now in a 2-ball and 1-strike count. Larson this season's hitting .232 in his sophomore campaign, getting his 14th start of the year. A couple of long ones and 9 driven in. The pitch did not offer. Gilmore tried to expand the zone, did not get the call, and it's now a hitter's count. As the freshman wants to work quickly. And delivers. Larson takes a hack and fouls it off to the left side. Well, after what was a mostly sunny day in the South Bay, now covered in clouds, none too precipitative, here's the payoff, and that is outside, ball 4. So leadoff walk now puts Larson at his defensive position, first base. And here comes Charlie Psalm. Psalm is the designated hitter this evening for Stanford. And a junior is batting .294, making his 17th start. Has hit 7 home runs in 23 games total this year. And when he has put a charge into one, it has left the ballpark. The pitch. Swings and it's a ground ball to the left side. Back into by Williams. Tough play. He squares up, goes to first, but Psalm beats it out. Well, an excellent effort by Malcolm Williams just to get to that ball. I think he wanted to go to second base, but credit to Larson, who was barreling down on Cleary. It was going to be a close play at either base, and so it's an infield single. And now here comes Trevor Haskins. A .305 hitter at the bottom of the order, has played in 36 of the 37 Stanford games. And 4 homers, but 14 doubles is really where he's made his head. Here's the pitch. Does not offer the bunt. Instead, Gilmore misses beneath the zone. Ball 1. Hipwell's kind of playing a little bit of both sides here. You can see his positioning on the left. Going to interpret what happens at home plate, whether it's a bunt or a swing. And might not see Haskins offer up a sacrifice situation at all because he's heading the count now 2-0, which will bring Steck out to speak with his freshman. Steck, one of the 2 Buster Posey Award watch list members on the field today. The other is Malcolm Moore for Stanford. Named one of the best catchers in the nation. Big part of that is what he does on defense, but what is unquantifiable about what a catcher can do is how they work with a staff, which moments they choose to go out and speak with their pitchers, of course building on their relationships, which have been bridged throughout the weeks, through practice, through fall. We'll see if his words of advice can lock in Gilmore, the 2-0. And that's a foul ball off the body of Psalm, off of Haskins. And it's 2 balls and a strike. So another 2 base runners against Gilmore here. The second inning, got out of the first unscathed. After his first 6 starts of the season, in which Gilmore did not allow more than 1 earned run all but once. Here's the pitch. And it's shot back into center field for a base hit. Rounding third and stopping there is Larson, as Brigman will play it in. It's cut off by Manzo. And the pillows are filled here in Santa Clara. So Larson looked like he got a great jump. Stands on third base, Psalm into second, Haskins on first, which also extends his hitting streak to 7 games. So Larson looked like he got a great jump. Stands on third base, Psalm into second, Haskins on first, which also extends his hitting streak to 7 games. So Larson, sure to guess, Gilmore would identify that as his best start of the season. Since then, he has not made it out of the third in any of his 4 starts. The pitch, and it misses just high. So knew that this was going to be an uphill battle. As you see, the bullpen warming for Santa Clara. Looks like Victor Martinez down there. Here comes the 2-2. And this one is sent into center field. Playable for Brigman, but this will score the first run of the game. As Coleman ranges back and makes the catch, and everyone moves up except at first. Larson comes in to score, and it's 1-0 Stanford in the second. So the leadoff walk comes back to bite Gilmore, as Psalm heads to third base, as the Cardinal with an early lead. And it looks like that's all for Gilmore here this evening. So bases are loaded with one out as Rusty Filter makes his way to the mound, and we are going to have a pitching change. To the bullpen we go for the first time today. Stanford on top 1-0 when we return. Evan Giddings with you. Back with more on ESPN Plus after this. So midway through the second inning here at Stephen Schott Stadium, out of the bullpen, it is the right-hander Victor Martinez who will take the mound against Stanford, leading 1-0. A run in here in the second frame. 6'3", 220 pounds. The frame of Martinez, and a junior transfer from Sac City. We'll try and get the final 2 outs of this inning. So far this season, a little bit of an inflated ERA due to a couple of albatross performances. If you take away Portland and USC, which was his last outing, the one against Southern California, he allowed 10 earned runs in those 5 2/3. But outside of that, he has allowed just 5 earned runs across 22 innings. So the 5.27 ERA is a little higher, or inflated, I should say, but he has got swing and miss stuff. 33 strikeouts and 13 walks in those 27 and third innings. And he might need a strikeout here, or a double play ball, as the leadoff man Owen Cobb steps to the dish. Struck out against the Santa Clara starter Gilmore. And right now, these 2 runners aboard at the corners would be attributed to him. And now Martinez is saying he can't hear. Of course, pitch comp introduced at the professional and collegiate level. Trying to speed up the game. And by the way, just take away some sign stealing. First pitch to Cobb. A fastball rocketed in for strike 1. Inning began with 3 straight base runners and a sac fly, which has brought us to now. Here's the pitch, and it's a bunt attempt, a safety squeeze. Martinez picks it up and throws it to first in plenty of time. Moving up to second is Haskins, but saw him, had to stay put at third. So, kind of an at-bat that did a little bit of work, but I think obviously the intent was for that bunt to get past the pitcher and allow Som to at least make a break for home. Instead, it's going to be a sacrifice bunt for Cobb. And there's 2 outs now for Ethan Hott. Here's the center fielder. And first pitch to him is a splitter that falls in for a strike. Martinez's fastball, splitter, slider. But primarily that fork pitch and four-seamer are his bread and butter. Digs it into his blonde mitt and delivers. There's another splitter that's swung on tap foul. When he's locating that pitch, he is very difficult to hit, Martinez. On a strikeout. Gilmore with 2 in that first inning. Martinez trying to keep Gilmore's earned run average as low as possible. Has a chance to do it here. 2-strike pitch with 2 in scoring position. Here it is, and it's popped up right side. This should get Santa Clara out of the inning. Manzo's tracking it and brings it in. So Martinez comes out of the bullpen and gets 2 quick outs, but Stanford does get 1 on the sac fly by Becerra, who scores Larson, and it's 1-0 Cardinal after 1.5. Santa Clara coming to bat when we return on ESPN Plus. My name is Evan Giddings. We're back after this. Home half of the second inning coming your way here on ESPN Plus. Evan Giddings with you, and it's time to get to know Stanford a little bit more. Well, we do know our keys of the game. There's no doubt about that. The California Kings coming to Stephen Schott Stadium. But as we get to know Stanford, and of course everyone from the Peninsula and South Bay area does as well, but just take a look at the alums. Tiger Woods, who I thought was admirable at this year's Masters, considering what he's been through. Katie Ledeck, John McEnroe, and of course a lot of Stanford baseball players have come through here. Gates and Sunken Diamond as the first pitch of the bottom of the second to Ben Steck is taken low and outside. remaining on the hill for Stanford. Ryan Speciak. And the second offering is taken for a strike there. I mean, alone last season, I think Stanford had 7 members of their team drafted into the minor league ranks. Also with a couple transfers. It's a very new team. As Steck hits the 1-1 pitch towards left center field, going into a dive are 2 outfielders, and it's Nadai that comes across to make the play. Crisscross applesauce, 1 gone here in the bottom of the second. I thought Hot was going to get there, and then coming in hot was the left fielder, Nadai. Just glad there wasn't a collision. Wow. Another look at it, you can see the 2 surfing the turf in order to make that play. So credit to Nadai. Here's Coleman Brigman. Takes the first pitch ball. An excellent defensive outfielder himself. This season he's hitting .241 with 4 homers, has driven in 26. 2 balls and no strikes now. So Stanford, I mentioned the 7 drafted. A little bit of a down year for them this year. Of course, they've made 19 total appearances in the College World Series, including the last 3 seasons. 3 balls and no strikes now to Brigman. They're the only team in the nation to make the College World Series in each of the last 3 years. As well as the only program to have made a super regional in the last 4. 3-0. And Brigman takes ball 4 low. So 1 out walk. Will now bring Malcolm Williams to the plate as Santa Clara gets some speed on the base paths.
The shortstop, number 8, Malcolm Williams.
Williams and the junior shortstop making his 36th start of the season. He's got 8 extra base hits this year. Driven in 19. Meanwhile, Brigman, who's got 9 stolen bases to his name, takes his lead from first. Stanford's infield. Position towards the left side. And Williams takes a breaking ball off the plate away, 1-0. Becerra's very close over at third base. Haskins, normal positioning. Cobb kind of hugging the bag behind second. Now Speciak, who just threw his 30th pitch, will pick off over to first. Speciak in that first inning collected a couple of Ks, left a 2-out walk aboard. Williams from up north, in the state that Stanford actually just came from, or I should say played against. Pick off over to first is not in time. Played 3 times against the University of Oregon. And took 2 of 3, including a 19-7 thrashing on Friday, which involved Malcolm Moore hitting 3 home runs. Here's the 1-0 pitch, a bluff over at first base, and the pitch is outside as Brigman breaks back towards first. Cool and windy evening here at Stephen Schott Stadium. 2-0. Williams takes a strike. Another nice Tuesday crowd on hand. As, honestly, many of them have been this year. Could be due to a little bit of a student tailgate before the game. 2-1 pitch. Williams pops it up on the infield. Becerra says it's mine. And it is. 2 gone. So with Brigman over at first base, it'll now be Johnny Tarantino playing left field, but he's pretty much the super utility man for Santa Clara. Nearby, San Jose, just about grew up maybe 10 minutes from the ballpark, from campus, I should say. Making just his 5th start of the season. That's left. so far is 3 for 20 at the plate this year. First pitch is inside. Tarantino out and left, giving Bearing a day off defensively. As Rusty Filters, not as if he is still experimenting with the offense, but there's a day to get some guys some work. It would be Tuesday, the midweek games. Swing and a miss on a 1-0 pitch. Back pick down to first, and Brigman's in safely. Nice idea by Moore, who I think gets a ton of attention just because of the power that he carries at the plate, but also behind it defensively. Has been really good this year. The pitch. Backdoor breaking ball misses. And so Moore certainly keeping Brigman on his toes, and sometimes, especially against a team like Santa Clara that likes to run, the fact that there has not been a stolen base attempted yet is almost a sign of respect to Moore's arm. 2-1 pitch. Tarantino looks at it. 2-2. Now, this is a Santa Clara team that is in the top 100 in terms of stolen bases per game. They swipe 1.5 as a group. Here's the pitch. Brigman goes, and Tarantino fouls it off. So we'll see if they try and make something happen on the base paths. I mean, it's a 1-0 game. But this is a team that right now, tonight, has 5 members of their starting 9 with 6 or more stolen bases. Brigman goes again. The 2-2 pitch is in the turf. Moore's going to have to clear it to first. Completes the strikeout, and that will end the inning. So nothing doing. Another harmless walk against Speciac. Scoreless for Santa Clara through 2, and it's 1-0 Cardinal here at Stephen Schott Stadium. Evie Giddings with you, back with the 3rd inning after this on ESPN+. Start of the 3rd here in Santa Clara. Evan Giddings with you on ESPN+. And it's time to take a look at the West Coast standings, brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Right now, Santa Clara stuck right in the middle due to their sweep or get swept approach to this season thus far. 500 in both categories behind San Diego, St. Mary's, Portland, and Gonzaga, who has been a little bit out of left field, no pun intended, but they have been very good this year out in Spokane. As the first pitch of the inning from Victor Martinez is taken low by Court McDonald. Evan Giddings with you on ESPN+. McDonald, Moore, and Nadai do up for the Cardinal as the 1-0 pitch is set down the left field line. That's going to twist out of play. Strike 1. Part of the order for Stanford, who got on the board in the 2nd inning on a sac fly by Timo Becerra. Meanwhile, Ryan Speciac is not allowed to hit to Santa Clara. There's a splitter that falls in for strike 2. Martinez, as he toes the slab for the first base side, came in to get the final 2 outs of the 2nd inning. It's a ground ball here. Softly hit, clear. He has to hurry, and does, just in time. Nice play by the freshman second baseman on the run, and retires McDonald for the first out. Another angle here. See Cleary quickly. I mean, he needed to get that ball out fast. McDonald can move. Now here comes Malcolm Moore. Malcolm Moore is first time up. Grounded out to, or pardon me, hit a double, I should say. Crap now. Well, takes one in the ground, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Ripped one down the right field line. Average hasn't necessarily been reflective of how difficult of an out he's been this year. 1-0 pitch. I said a lot of balls hard, but sometimes atom balls are a defense's best friend. And actually, Malcolm Moore and Santa Clara starter Jace Gilmore have something in common. More on that after this pitch, which is down and in. 3 balls and no strikes. Gilmore actually faced Moore. Gave up a double to him tonight, but back in 2022 in the Section Division I championship game, Martinez fires a strike. That game led Whitney to the school's first section title in baseball with a 2-1 complete game victory over Malcolm Moore's McClatchy team. So there's a little high school know-how. 3-1 pitch is tap foul. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Gilmore only got to face his former high school foe once. And Moore got the best of him. But it was Gilmore 2 years ago that got the last laugh for the section championship. Here's the 3-2 now. Delivered. And it's outside. Martinez tried to split it that time and missed. So Moore has now been aboard twice here this evening. So it'll be Jimmy Nat-Eye, and a left fielder who made a ridiculous play in left to rob Ben Steck of a base hit. As there's David Esker, the 7th-year head coach at Stanford, has been a long time mainstay in the Pac-12. First pitch is a strike by Martinez to Nat-Eye. Esker, the former head coach at Cal, has been named Pac-12 Coach of the Year now in multiple programs, 2001 with the Bears. And then Esker was named Pac-12 Coach of the Year last season. A 1 is capped off the end of that foul. And in fact, he's actually won it 3 times at Stanford. The last 2 seasons as well as 2018. Safe to say the guy knows what he's doing. Here's the 2-strike pitch. And it's a little away. Looks like a slide at that time. Outfield deep on the 5-hole hitter. Here's the pitch. And it's outside and high. Here's the 2-2. Swinging a high fly ball down the left field line, but that is foul. Very foul, but that one had the distance. A long foul ball to keep it at 2-2. Stanford team look at the build on its latest offensive onslaughts, both against Oregon as well as a familiar foe for Santa Clara being Sac State. They've scored double digits in 3 of their last 4 games. Here's the pitch. And it's a fastball right there. Strike 3 call. And that I might have lost track of the count, but that is 3. So first strikeout of the game for Martinez. And there are now 2 outs here in the top half of the 3rd for Brandon Larson. Larson walked his first time up. A back and forth full count battle between Gilmore and the left-handed hitting first baseman. Pickoff attempt is not in time. First pitch floats in for a strike, 0-1. This is the first of 2 meetings this season between Santa Clara and Stanford, both a week apart. Kind of a home and home, if you will, to draw from college football. Will be obviously here tonight. The 0-1 pitch is blocked by Steck, and then it'll be at Sunken Diamond next Tuesday, 7 days from now, same time. But Santa Clara is getting Stanford off of a hot weekend in which they hit .355, scored 34 runs, and blasted 10 homers against Oregon. This one's headed out of the park, but foul. So it's a ball and 2 strikes now on Larson. And really it's kind of a shift in what they were, Stanford's, that is, through the first 23 games of this year. And just below 260, but over the last 14 games they've been well above 320. Here's the 1-2, and it's low. So, as the weather's been warming up in the Bay Area, so has the Cardinal bats. Deuce is wild on the board. The pitch. Larson rips it down the right field line. That's headed for the corner. Rounding second on his way to third is going to be Moore. They're going to wave him in as O'Hara has trouble getting it out of the corner. And now we'll say that it entered the Santa Clara bullpen, which means that they would have to stop the lead runner. And that's going to be a ground rule double. So Moore's going to have to head back to third base. And that is the lay of the land here at Stephen Schott Stadium. At least I believe. It was tough to tell from this angle whether or not it just got caught in the webbing of the wall or if it actually did enter the bullpen. But heads up play from O'Hara. I mean, he just threw his hands up. If it's out of play or you can't get to it or you don't have an opportunity to unwedgie it, well, throw your hands up, take the ground rule double. A potentially beneficial move for the Broncos, as here's Charlie Somm and takes strike one. Somm singled his first time up. Bats with a couple of ducks in scoring position. Well, not ducks. That'd be the Oregon team. But you get my drift. They're on the pond. 1-1 now. Mascot's a tree anyways. Moore's dancing around at third base. The 1-1 pitch is waved at and a foul into the glove of Steck. Way out in front of that off-speed pitch. And Martinez, who came in and stranded runners at second and third, has a chance to do the same thing here in his first full inning of work. Out of the bullpen. The pitch. It's low. Nice lead by Somm. Charlie Somm has homered his last two games, hit bombs in 3 of his past 5. Swinging a hot stick. The pitch. Blown by the barrel of Somm, and a fastball racks up the third out of the inning. 2 strikeouts in the frame as for a second consecutive inning, Martinez strands 2 in scoring position. Still, though, Stanford leads Santa Clara 1-0 at the end of 2.5. We'll be back with the bottom of the frame after this on ESPN+. Welcome back to Stephen Schott Stadium as we take a look into the Santa Clara dugout on a 1-0 Stanford lead here at home. And we're looking for the head coach of the Broncos. That is... Apparently he just took a... I don't know. Let's call it a break inside the Santa Clara dugout. I'll pan back to him and Rusty Filter when he's out. There's a reliever in the game for Santa Clara. Filter might be relieving himself. Here is the right-handed hitter of Ben Clary, second baseman and freshman. First at-bat of the evening against Ryan Speciak. First offering is a breaking ball. That is taken for a strike. Clary this year, in his first year in the South Base, hitting .282, 35 starts, a 1. And a fastball is right beneath the knees, rule the ball, 1-1. Still looking for his first homer in college, but 8 extra base hits for Clary this year. Has driven in 11. It's been a turnaround from the beginning of the season until now at the dish. 1-1. And it's off the plate. 2 balls and a strike now. Clary really struggled through the first 15 games of his collegiate career. Not anything to write home about, but since he has found his stroke at the plate, he has been a lot of fun to watch. 2-1. Sends it high, but playable out to right center field, where Hutt patrols and makes the catch for out number 1. So Santa Clara still without a hit one time through the order, as the leadoff man, John Bearing, will come to the plate. Bearing had a 9-pitch at-bat to lead off the home half of the first inning, but eventually grounded out to first. Or pardon me, to second base, and now at-bats here with Becerra. 10 feet in on the grass over at third base. Here's the pitch. Bearing leaves it low. Meanwhile, Larson's even over at first. There is Rusty Filter. And now look at the seventh year head coach for Santa Clara, brought to you by West Coast Sports Institute. It's done wonders in building this program to, of course, the point where they made their first regional in this millennium last year. As John just misses that pitch, and it's a ball and a strike. Here's the pitch. Bearing just gets a piece of it. A little bit out in front. A ball and 2 strikes. Speciak has been wonderful now in his third inning of work. Has gone multiple frames each of his last 4 appearances. He's just making his 3rd start of the year. And again, the ERA is ballooned a bit because of a couple of outlying performances. It's looked sharp so far. The pitch is a little off the plate away, but allowed 2 earned runs against Sac State his last time out. Went 4 1/3. Before that, gave up 4 to Arizona. Before that, 5 to Texas Tech. The pitch. John reaches out and flips it towards left, but Nadi is there. A little towards the line, and hauls it in. 2 away. The scouting report for Speciak has been executed thus far to perfection. And Nadi, you saw right there, has been giving him a little boost out in left field. Here's Michael O'Hara, one of the better defenders on the Santa Clara side this season. Has not committed an error now going back 2 seasons. Struck out his first time up. Becerra's even at third. And O'Hara takes a backdoor breaking ball for strike 1. Speciak's best outing this year is probably against Utah. Went 2 scoreless innings. Struck out 3 while walking none, allowing just a single hit against the Utes. Here's the 0-1, and it's outside for ball 1. And that was in a series that was a close best 2 of 3 defeat suffered by Stanford. 1-1. O'Hara hits it hard. Diving play made at first base by Larson, covering his Speciak. What a play. And the connection between first and pitcher puts a bow on the 3rd inning. Well, Stanford has brought the leather this evening. Couple of nice plays. Speciak has not allowed a hit through 3, and it's Stanford 1 and Santa Clara 0 when we return. Evan Giddings with you on ESPN+. A look at the Stephen Schott Stadium crowd on both sides here between the Peninsula team in Stanford and, of course, your home here in the South Bay in Santa Clara. Evan Giddings with you on ESPN+. Glad you could join us for the beginning of the 4th inning. 1-0. Stanford leads in the first of 2 meetings this year. Victor Martinez back to the bump for his 2nd full inning of work, and begins Trevor Haskins with a pitch low and outside. Haskins extended his hitting streak to 6 games. Back in the 2nd. 1-0 offering. He'll fly foul down the right field line to even the count. And again, Haskins has been just a revelation the last 23 games, kind of around the time that Stanford's offense was injected with some life. During that time, they hit about 330. Haskins reaches out and flies this one to shallow left. Williams backs up and makes the catch. 1 gone. So Martinez, who followed Gilmore, now has been able to navigate his way through this Cardinal order after this batter for 1 time. Here's Timo Becerra. And a sac flies first time up. Swings and misses at that pitch. And it's 0-1. Becerra brought in the lone run of the game. After 3 straight base runners reached against Gilmore in the 2nd, Becerra plated 1. And he takes a fastball outside for ball one. And then Martinez came in, got a sac bunt, and then a pop out to end the inning. So did a fantastic job at minimizing the damage. And the 1-1 is ruled a ball just beneath the knees. Especially, again, against an offense that has been a very different team as of late. When Stanford scores at least 3 runs, they're 17-9. And when they do not play more than 3, they're 0-11. There's a swinging strike. Of course, it's hard to win games when you don't score a lot of runs. But, again, it just goes to show if the Cardinal bats come to play, they're a tough out against anyone. 2-2 is a chopper at shortstop. Williams, a little low. No problem for Manzo, though. 2 outs. And that'll turn things over to the top of the order. So Cobb now try and work his way aboard. And it appears he's going to have to do it, potentially against another pitcher, because Rusty Filter is making his way to the mound. And we are going to have a pitching change. A righty will be coming in to replace Martinez, who has been fantastic. Leaves the bases clear with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Santa Clara trailing Stanford 1-0 when we come back. Heavy Gettings with you on ESPN+. So from one junior transfer to another, from Victor Martinez to Josh Johnson in his first season in Santa Clara after 2 at the College of Southern Nevada. Makes his way to the mound here with 2 outs and the bases cleared in the top half of the 4th inning. Broncos trailing the Cardinal here at home by a score of 1-0. Josh Johnson stands 6'2", 186 pounds. Hails from Henderson, Nevada. And has piggybacked Martinez a lot this season out of the bullpen. A 3.92 ERA across 20 2/3 frames. Has struck out 21 while walking 14. And so a clean slate for Double J against the top of the order in Owen Cobb. And Santa Clara, the first 3 innings, the combination of both Gilmore as well as Martinez did a fantastic job of not allowing this game to get any further in Stanford's favor than it already has been. What I mean by that, in each of the first 3 innings, they stranded 2 runners in scoring position. This inning, with Martinez now bridging to Johnson, they're trying to maneuver their way through the first 1-2-3 frame of the evening. So Cobb, who is 0 for 1 with a sac bunt, steps in. And the first pitch he sees goes to the backstop. Cobb has hit safely in 11 of his past 15 games, managing multiple hits in 9 of them. In fact, he raised his average nearly 100 points over the last 15 games. Here's the pitch. And it's hit hard through the left side of base knock, right on cue. Now 12 of his last 16 games, as Cobb continues to carry a hot stick. And there's a 2-out base runner. Perhaps a bit of a broadcaster's jinx on the 1-2-3 inning, but Johnson still with a lot of cushion here. They'll face Ethan Hott, really looking for his first hit. The pitch. Hott chops it up the line. It's foul. Cobb on the base paths this year has not done much. I mean, really the lone stolen base threat for Stanford has been Court McDonald, who's the man on deck. 0-1, up high. Again, this was a Cardinal team that last year just would thrash opposing pitching staffs, primarily with the home run ball. It's pretty ridiculous, honestly. 1-1 pitch is low and away. They connected for 117 home runs last year to lead the Pac-12. That was 10th in the country and nearly 1.85 per game. 2-1. Hit back up the box, in and out of the glove of Johnson. Oh, cool, calm, collected. Picks up the hop and flips it to first. Inning over. So a 2-out single is left stranded yet again. 7 left on base for Stanford through their 4 set of at-bats. 4th at-bat coming up for for Santa Clara when we return in a 1-0 game on ESPN+. Well, we got midweek action tonight here on Tuesday, but a reminder that the Broncos are home again on Friday as they host St. Mary's in the opener of a 3-game West Coast Conference Series. Coverage starts at 6 p.m. Pacific, all right here on ESPN+. So the Gills get a St. Mary's team that right now is top 5 in the conference, a chance to hop them potentially. But right now on the docket, the Stanford Cardinal. And Robert Hipwell, followed by Efren Manzo and Ben Steck. 3, 4, and 5 are due up in the 4th set of at-bats for the Broncos. Evan Giddings with you as Ryan Speciak returns to the rubber. No hits allowed through the first 3 innings, and buries a breaking ball in the zone for strike 1. Hipwell making his home debut in 2024 after missing the first 34 games of this season. 0-1 pitch. He leaves it up and out for ball 1. Returned on Saturday against USC as well as Sacramento State in that weekend twin bill. It was a nice little break from conference action for Santa Clara. And Hipwell steers that pitch down. Last time they did face a conference opponent, it was a 3-game sweep for Santa Clara against Pepperdine at home. And they needed it after getting beaten badly in Eastern Washington the weekend prior against Gonzaga. 2-1 pitch is way outside. But taking a look at the rest of the Broncos' schedule in terms of conference play, St. Mary's is absolutely a tough series, and then it does not get easier because you go to San Diego, a team that was expected to finish 3rd or even 2nd in the conference by most. 3-1 pitch is taken on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 3-2. Payoff pitch from Speciak. The offering. Hipwell stares at a ball. 2 walks here in this game. And so the third baseman will take his lead over first as we take a look, again, at the upcoming schedule. So was talking about St. Mary's, all, by the way, brought to you by Heffernan Insurance, but then a week from today, they go to Stanford before that Friday night tilt with San Diego. So the weekend games, 6 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Put that in your schedule. Get out here if you can't watch live. Of course, everything will be right here on ESPN+. Here's Manzo, as Santa Clara has its first leadoff base runner of the game. Manzo checks his swing on a high pitch. Did not go, and it's 1-0. Struck out his first at-bat. As again, Santa Clara is looking for its first hit. Speciak has been masterful thus far. Pitch number 60 is outside. And so now Moore is going to go out and have a word. Be curious to see how long Esker lets Speciak go. His last outing threw 76 pitches against Sac State, and that's when he was cruising. All the ones prior to, 54, 58, 54. But those were games in which Speciak did not have his best stuff. Becerra, even with the bag over at third base, middle infield pinches for the 2-ball. A lot of hitting room to right center field for Manzo. The pitch. And it's right there for strike 1. And now time is called as there's a ball on the field. And that answers the question about the Cardinal bullpen. Yeah, I can see a couple of righties warming up down there. Ben Reimers as well as Joey Volchko. Speciak delivers. Manzo fights it off the hand. It's a soft pop-up, and corralling it is Cobb over at second. So a nice pitch from Speciak. I mean, he got in the kitchen. It's not often that Manzo walks back to the dugout dejected like that. And here's Ben Steck. 0 for 1, but about a foot away from having the only hit. At least what would have been. Got an extra base knock taken away on a diving catch in left field by Nadai. And Steck takes the first offering low. Steck has been a magnet, even though I don't really think he gets too far on top of the plate, at least compared to the hitters that are overly aggressive. You see him in the box. He's certainly more towards home plate, but he's not right on top of that chalk. 1-0 pitch is upstairs. The reason I've mentioned that is because he's been hit by 13 pitches this season. Last year he was only hit 3 times. Yes, he's played a lot of games, but the next most HBPs on the squad is 7. 2-0. That one nearly hit him. Not trying to manifest anything here. So we'll see if Steck hits the green line in a 3-0 count. 1 out, runner on. A tight one so far here in the midway portion of tonight's entertainment. And that one did hit him. Right on cue. 14th hit by pitch of the season. That doubles the total of the next most on the Santa Clara roster. I mean, look out. Yeah, I'll wear that one. Not as badly as Steck just wore that pitch, but I'll wear it. And so now the assistant coach is going to come out and have a quick word with Speciak. First sign of trouble in the game, really. So he still has not given up a hit, but a pair of free passes have now put the Stanford staff in a bit of a predicament as the entire infield converges on home plate, or pardon me, on mound. Hipwell's on second, Steck's on first. Not a ridiculous amount of speed, but with Coleman Brigman up, the tying run, early in the game as it is, now is in scoring position. Yeah, a couple righties warming in the Stanford bullpen. That also could be what the coaching staff is trying to allow more time for. Second mound visit. Thank you, Alex Nash. So here's Brigman, who walked his first time up. Even though Santa Clara doesn't have a hit, they have been able to work Speciak. He's walked 3 and has now hit 1. So they've had 4 base runners in this game through now 3 1/3. Here's the first pitch to Brigman, and takes it low. Nice hold there from the senior center fielder in his 5th year at Santa Clara. Top at second base, trying to keep Hipwell close. And a 1-0 pitch. It's a 55-footer that gets all the way to the backstop, just skips up past Moore. And so now Santa Clara's got 2 in scoring position, as Hipwell moves to third and Steck advances to second base on a wild pitch. Now it does appear we're, well, pump fake. Looks like we're going to have a pitching change. Assistant coach thought about going to the mound, but then I think realized that if he went and crossed the foul line, that he would have to pull Speciak from the game. So if they're going to do that, we'll see. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. And it is low, ball 3. So a 3-0 count with the base open for Coleman Brigman. Corners in. The pitch. Ball 4. 3 free passes handed out in this inning with 1 out. And now Stanford's going to go to the bullpen. So Speciak has been wonderful through 3 1/3. Has not given up a hit, but has now walked 4 and hit 1, and his day is done. We'll see the reliever on the other side when we return. Bases filled for Santa Clara, trailing 1-0 here in the 4th. Back with more after this. My name is Evan Giddings on ESPN Plus. So out of the bullpen for the Stanford Cardinal is the 6', 393-pound freshman right-hander. Out of Allison Viejo, California, it is Ben Reimers. As we're taking a look at some of the plays from earlier in this game that have set up a 1-0 situation here in the 4th. Victor Martinez out of the bullpen, putting together 3 punch-outs, and then Ryan Speciak did not allow a hit through his 3 1/3 innings. Josh Johnson, also out of the bullpen as well for Santa Clara. Again, not much hard contact outside of that allowed by Stanford. And Larson came in to score the lone run of the game on the sac fly by Timo Becerra. And that is how we have come to a 1-0 game here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Again, it's the freshman, Ben Reimers, on the mound. Graduate of Jacera Catholic High School in San Juan Capistrano. And a legacy kid. Father played at Stanford from 94 to 96. And so far this season, has thrown 25 innings, is making his 16th appearance all out of the bullpen. So he'll face Malcolm Williams in a precarious position for Stanford. Again, leading in this game. They've left 7 aboard, and now Santa Clara's got a chance with the tying run on third, go-ahead run on second base to take the lead. And Williams takes the first pitch breaking ball for ball 1. Stanford has not been hurt by hard contact. They've been hurt by the free passes. Every runner aboard right now was either walked or hit by a pitch. Here's the 1-0. And Williams takes a strike. Malcolm popped out his first time up. And faces a right-hander with a 10.44 ERA. Has given up 29 runs in 25 innings this year. 22 strikeouts, 18 walks. Here's the pitch. It's low and outside, I should say. 2 balls and a strike now. Williams, with the bases loaded this year, is 2 for 3. 5 driven in. When he's got a chance, he's taking advantage of his opportunity. And it's now 3-1. So tough position again for Reimers to come in, but got to throw strikes out of the bullpen. 3 balls and a strike on Malcolm Williams. Nowhere to put him. The pitch. Williams fights it off. Straight back and out of play. Huge pitch up coming here. Again, a little under midway through this game, but the Broncos, who have had a propensity for the big inning on offense, have a chance to create one here. The payoff pitch. Williams swings and misses. Filthy breaking ball thrown by Reimers, and that's a huge punch out. So a strikeout against Williams. There's now 2 outs in the inning. And it looks like Santa Clara is going to send a pinch hitter to the plate. Pitch hitters is going to be Kai Cunningham. So the freshman utility man will pinch hit for Johnny Tarantino. Cunningham, so far this season, 6 for 12 at the plate in a few appearances. 3 RBI, 3 runs scored. He's got 1 extra base hit this year. Got a chance to deliver a key knock here in this game. First offering, and he rips it into right field. Coming in is McDonald, and he can't get it, and it gets by him. It's going to get all the way to the wall, and this is going to clear the bases. Cunningham's on his way to third. The throw is late, and he's in with a head-first slide. Santa Clara takes the lead in the 4th on a bases-clearing pinch hit knock by Cunningham. Well, a costly misplay by McDonald, waiting for the official ruling. But the moment that it got by the right fielder, he had no help. Every run was going to come in. As Brigman, Steck, and Hipwell are all plated. Another look at it here. Cunningham right on that pitch. Kind of difficult to see, but again, it just short-hot McDonald and then got by him. It is now Ben Cleary, the 9-hole hitting freshman, takes a ball low and in the turf. 1-0. Cleary flew out to center field his first time. And now is a chance to give Santa Clara even more of a lead. 3-1 Broncos. Front door breaking ball, and there's a strike. Again, still waiting for the official ruling on that play. Kind of up to the discretion of the officials for. Here's the pitch. And Cleary takes strike 2. Painted on the black. But the first hit of the game for Santa Clara is a big one. And it's going to be ruled a single. And every runner advances afterwards. 1-2 pitch. Cleary checks his swing. Did not go around. So Cunningham with a single to right. And then everyone advanced on the error. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And this one is fought off the hands into right field. McDonald's got a beat on this one. He comes in and makes the catch, but not before Santa Clara strikes for 3 on a bases-clearing single with an error, courtesy of Kai Cunningham. First hit of the game is huge, as Santa Clara is in front after 4, 3-1. Evan Giddings with you, back with more after this on ESPN+. Welcome back to Santa Clara as we take a look at the Stanford upcoming schedule. That Bay Bridge battle with California this weekend. And then, of course, next Tuesday is going to be at home versus Santa Clara. That's going to be on the 30th of April. And then a matchup with Arizona, who's been playing some good baseball this year down in the desert. And here's the biggest hit from this game thus far, as Cunningham off the bench delivered a rope into right field that was misplayed by McDonald. A single and a 2-base error that allowed all 3 runs with the bases loaded to score, only one of which was earned. As Josh Johnson now works with a lead against McDonald, who committed the error, and takes a first pitch strike. McDonald tonight is 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch. As Johnson, working exclusively from the stretch, bounces that ball for ball 1. But it'll be the heart of the order. 3, 4, and 5 due up. McDonald, Moore, and Nadai. Hipwell's even over at third base. The pitch is low. But Stanford kind of mentioned their upcoming schedule being against Arizona. That's a road game. And that is an important series because right now, Stanford is in trouble in regards to the at-large bid possibility for a regional. Here's the 2-1. And there's strike 2. I mean, you see the overall record, 17 and 20. Still an outside chance, I guess, to get to the pack, the top of the pack, I should say. Pac-12, that is. But really, their path to postseason, to the postseason for fourth straight year. 2-1 pitch is grounded back up the box. Cleary gets to it, but a tough play. He's going to have to hold it. As McDonald, who runs very well, has an infield single. Wise choice by the freshman. Just put it in your back pocket. And so McDonald's on first base to lead off the fifth. Here's Malcolm Moore. But even with Stanford beating the likes of Oregon, 2 out of 3 is a top 20 program. Took one at Oregon State, who's a top 5 team. Some of the losses early in the year might make some feel like they got to make magic as a strike is taken there to begin June. Or pardon me, to end May, I should say. Pac-12 tournament, which starts May 21st, goes through the 25th. Yeah, they've made 3 consecutive College World Series, 4 consecutive Super Regionals. Pick off as late. Only program in the country that can boast about that. And they have in many ways been the kings of California in regards to victories. You just look at what they've done since 2011. 483 wins. It's the most in the state for a Division I program. 0-1 pitch is outside. To Malcolm Moore, who has been a tough out tonight. Has reached twice and is coming off a sizzling series against the Ducks. In 4 home runs in 3 games. The pitch. Filthy breaking ball that drops in for strike 2. Moore hit 3 homers on Friday night in the 19-7 Stanford win, and then hit a grand slam, which ended up being the difference in a 10-7 victory on Sunday. Bright future ahead for this sophomore backstop. No dice. So Johnson on the heels of Martinez. Just trying to help continue a strong stretch for the Santa Clara bullpen. Getting their work in midweek. Here's the 1-2. And Moore goes down and fights it off. Well, and again, this is, Santa Clara staff that didn't have to worry about pitching all but one time, or one day, I should say, this weekend. They didn't play Friday, didn't play Sunday. Only played on 4/20. The pitch, swing and a miss. And he did not make contact with that as Stecken applies the tag. So Moore is down for the first time tonight. And that's the first strikeout for Josh Johnson. So Moore meanders back to the dugout as Jimmy Nat-Eye will come to the plate. 0 for 2 this evening. Struck out his last time up. Was one of the 2 punch-out victims for Martinez. The starter, Jace Gilmore, also struck out a pair. And here it comes. Breaking ball, in for a strike. Kind of a, as Nat-Eye, you see, still looking for his first hit. But, the Johnson's breaking ball, he can tighten it up a bit. But the few that he's thrown in this inning have been a little more loopy. Spikes that pitch, and now Steck's got a man caught in a rundown, but the throw is low to Manzo, and a heads-up play by McDonald just to take off towards second base. That should go down as a stolen base, I believe. Steck probably kicking himself because if he makes a good throw to Manzo, it's going to be close at second base, but I believe Santa Clara would have been able to catch him. So, man in scoring position now. The 1-1 is outside. 2 balls and a strike now to Nat-Eye. As for McDonald, at least that should be his 10th stolen base this season. Actually, they're going to call it a wild pitch. Get clarification on that during the break. Check swing. Yes, he did go. That was a beautiful breaking ball by Nat-Eye. Strikeout situation now. Johnson delivers. Tries to get Nat-Eye to expand the zone. He does not, and the count is full. Getting a little more chilly here at Santa Clara as the wind also picks up. 59 degrees. Feels like 57. 3-2 is waved at and missed. So Johnson picks up back-to-back strikeouts after the leadoff single. And now can get out of the inning if Brennan Larson lets him. By the way, the wind also up to 13 miles per hour, pushing out towards left field. Larson tonight is 1 for 1. Walked and scored. Stanford's only run back in the second inning, doubled in the third. Here's the pitch. And it's hit hard, but foul. Sends a couple of Broncos scurrying toward the tail end of their dugout. And it's 0-1. Larson is a big boy, 6'6", and attended Rockland High School up near Sacramento. Takes strike 2. A lot of these guys familiar with each other in what has become just a hotbed of talent around Sacramento. The 0-2 pitch from Johnson. It's a fastball that's fouled off to the left side. Of course, everyone is familiar with Elk Grove, but the more you pay attention to West Coast baseball, the more you see particular prospects or in general just roster members on Division I collegiate programs that hail from Northern California, being north of the Bay Area, in my estimation. Here's the pitch, and steps in front, blocks it. And Elk Grove has had a bevy of first-rounders. Sure if I can still recall all of them off the top of my head, but Rowdy Tellez, Derek Hill, 1-2, and that is low into the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Larson. J.D. Davis. There's a catcher plays for the Rockies that I'm missing. 2-2. Check swing, and no, he did not go. Count is going to be full on Larson with a man on second base in a 3-1 game here in the 5th. Well, I failed a couple of my buddies. I feel like they made me memorize about Elk Grove a lot in the show. 3-2 pitch is inside, ball 4. And so 2 men aboard now as Larson has worked his way on for a 3rd time tonight.
Designated hitter, Charlie Somm.
So Charlie Somm now will get a crack. And again, he can do some damage. This is a guy that has 7 home runs of his 20 hits. When he connects, you can hear it. First pitch he sees will be a strike on the outside corner. Over the weekend against Oregon, went 6 for 13 with 2 homers, a double. Drove in 5. 0-1 pitch, checks his swing, and the ball a little off the plate. So 1-1 now. He's got a hit tonight. Stung a single through the left side in his first AB. The 1-1 pitch. Fouled straight back. Johnson might have gotten away with one there. That fastball was pretty center cut. We'll see if he tries to elude contact here. Johnson is ready. The 2-strike pitch is low and in the turf. Nice block by Steck and a purpose pitch there. I mean, gotta hand it to Santa Clara right now. The tying run is on first base, but the Cardinal have a run on 6 hits. Santa Clara has 3 runs on 1 hit. Here's the pitch. Right there, strike 3 called as Josh Johnson pumps his fist as he buries a fastball in the outside corner and leaves 2 more stranded. A total of 9 left on base through 5 innings for Stanford. 3-1 Santa Clara leads. Back with the home half of the 5th after this. Evan Giddings with you on ESPN+. Well, halfway through this one here at Stephen Schott Stadium, and a reminder that tonight's game is brought to you by Devcon Construction, building the future of Santa Clara athletics. And also by Luxbus America, covering more ground in more places. And by Pizza Chicago Santa Clara, who serves this community and has since 1991. And also by One Workplace, creating spaces that inspire and transform the way you work. Evan Giddings with you in what has been an interesting Tuesday night affair between the Stanford Cardinal and your Santa Clara Broncos. On the mound for Stanford to begin the home half of the 5th inning is going to be Joey Volchko, the freshman out of Visalia, California. And so the 6'4", 205-pound righty is going to take the hill for the 16th time this season, 13th time out of the bullpen. And he's going to get the top of the order in John Berry, Michael O'Hara, and Robert Hipwell. 3-1 Broncos. The first pitch, there's a fastball on the outside edge for strike 1. Santa Clara got all 3 of its runs in the last inning on a pinch hit single by Ty Cunningham that McDonald fumbled in right field and allowed a bases-loaded situation to be maximized. 1-1 now. By the way, because of the ending of that inning, only 1 of those 3 runs was earned. So Santa Clara has only 1 hit in this game, and it was that pinch hit single. High and away. So far this season, Volchko, near 9 ERA, 20 runs allowed in 21 innings, has struck out 26 and has walked 24. Bearing swings and misses. And that's pretty much the case with this Stanford staff. Every arm that comes out of that bullpen is going to have swing and miss stuff. They're also going to have miss the zone stuff. Ball 4. Or pardon me, count should have been 2-2. 3-2 now. Got a little bit of ahead myself. Swing and a miss. Well, there's the other side of the coin. So Barron goes down on strikes. And there's 1 out to begin the 5th. That was a sharp breaking slider. And now here's Michael O'Hara. Was robbed of a base hit his last time up. 0 for 2 tonight. Volchko last pitched a week ago against Sac State, gave up 3 runs against the Hornets. Here's the pitch. That is high and away. So Stinger's rough during that inning of work. But he's been pretty feast or famine. 1-0. O'Hara stings it into right field for a base hit. McDonald over, keeps this one in front, and plays it in as O'Hara will stop with a 1-out single. His first hit of the evening, and Santa Clara's second.
The third baseman.
Opposing offenses have hit .325 against the freshman, as Volchko will now work against Robert Hipwell. Has walked twice and scored. Hipwell picking up right where he left off last season in what has turned between last year and this year, after this pitch, outside ball 1, into essentially about a 50-game absence. Missed the last 16 games of 2023 and missed the first 34 games of 2024. So Santa Clara is very happy to have him back in the lineup. Pitch. And it gets away from Moore. And O'Hara heads up play into scoring position. So the question is if it's going to be a wild pitch or a pass ball. And it's going to be a pass ball. Here's the 2-0. Sharp breaking ball. In for a strike. That wide leg kick by Volchko. Kind of an optical illusion. With a 6'4" frame, just brings it right over the top. There's a big kick. Hipwell stares at it outside. Santa Clara trying to add on with a prime opportunity in the middle of this order. Hipwell just kind of tapping the handle. Hitters count now, and he takes ball 4. So 3 walks in the evening handed out to Hipwell. That is now 5 walks earned by the Santa Clara offense. In addition to the hit by pitch, I mean, they have been patient. And even against the starter, Speciak, who did not allow a hit through 3 1/3, I mean, they made him work for every out and really ratcheted up that pitch count, eventually driving him from the game during the inning in which they scored 3 runs. Here's Efren Manzo. Looking to get aboard for the first time tonight. Not a better time to do so. Volchko delivers, and Manzo takes a strike on the inner half. Manzo this season, 300 hitter with runners on base, a 326 hitter with runners in scoring position. And hits this one hard, but right at the shortstop. This could be 2. Haskins to second, Cobb on to first base, double play, inning over. So Volchko, with a little help from his defense, gets out of the inning and leaves 2 stranded. A walk and a base runner, but none for Santa Clara as they lead 3-1 through 5 here at Stephen Schott Stadium. Evan Giddings with you after this on ESPN+. Through 5 innings here at Stephen Schott Stadium, it is Santa Clara 3 and Stanford 1. A little local rivalry renewed. First of 2 games a week away from each other here tonight at Santa Clara, and then next Tuesday at Sunken Diamond. Evan Giddings with you on ESPN+. Really glad you could join us for this one. 2 teams that are kind of at an inflection point in their seasons. Both in conference play 500. Stanford's coming off a series victory against Oregon. Meanwhile, Santa Clara in their last conference series swept Pepperdine. So both sides trending up and going toe-to-toe here this evening. Leading off is going to be the shortstop Trevor Haskins to begin the 6th, and Josh Johnson misses low and away for ball 1. Haskins extended his hitting streak to 6 with a single back in the 2nd. As the infield widens on the right-handed hitter. And the count is now 1-1. Johnson came in with 2 outs and nobody on in the 4th inning. Has allowed 3 base runners, but has stranded 3. All 3, I should say. The pitch. Breaking ball. A little high, it appears. Santa Clara's dugout didn't feel that way. Lots of hitting room towards left center for Haskins. 2-1 pitch. He goes down and fights it off the net, 2-2. Haskins this year has been a magnificent leadoff man, though hitting 8th, but 375 average when leading off innings. Here comes the 2-2. And again, he gets a piece of it. But Haskins has really flipped the script on his season. He's improved his batting average 135 points over the last 21 games, to the point where it's above 300 now. 2-2. Right there on the outside corner, strike 3 called. Beautiful bender. And Johnson is cruising right now. 3 strikeouts out of the bullpen, and 1 gone to begin the 6th. Just another look at this perfidious pitch. Right there on the black. Could have made the argument it's a tad off the edge, but you don't have the strike zone box here. Timo Becerra checks his swing. Doesn't matter. It's 0-1. Another breaking ball. This one's hit softly towards right center field. Brickman's got a beat on it and ranges towards the alley to make the catch. Not many patrol center field like Coleman Brigman, who hauls it in for out number 2. Especially here in what is a pretty expansive ballpark. 335 down the right field line, 340 to left, 402 to straightaway center, 15-foot walls all the way around. And it looks like Brigman and the rest of that outfield is going to have to play some defense for a different arm because we have a pitching change. It's Josh Johnson, magnificent out of the bullpen. No runs allowed through 2 1/3 innings, and I'll turn it over here. We'll be back with a pitching change after this on ESPN+. So out of the bullpen, third man for Santa Clara tonight, it is Blake Hammond, the 6-foot, 395-pound junior from Lafayette, Colorado, will make his way to the hill. A second-team All-West Coast Conference selection a year ago, now in his third season at Santa Clara. So far this year, a 4.68 ERA across 42 1/3 innings pitched. Has swing and miss stuff. Has struck out 53 to 20 walks thus far this year, and is making his 7th appearance out of the bullpen. Here in 2024 has kind of dabbled and drifted between the starting pitching and relieving roles. And now with 2 outs and nobody on and a 3-1 game in favor of Santa Clara, he'll face the leadoff man, Owen Cobb. First pitch to him. Cobb swings and sends it to Clary. 1 pitch, 1 out. Welcome to the game, Blake Hammond, as he puts a bow on the top half of the 6th. Home half of the frame coming up on the other side of this break. My name is Evan Giddings as Santa Clara leads Stanford 3-1 on ESPN+. So after Blake Hammond comes in out of the bullpen, gets it out on 1 pitch, that'll send it to the home half of the 6th here on ESPN+. Evan Giddings with you. Glad you could join us for the first of 2 meetings between Santa Clara and Stanford. And there you see Joey Volchko, who makes his way to the mound for his 2nd inning of work. And he will face Ben Steck, Coleman Brigman, and Malcolm Williams here in Santa Clara's 6th inning. They got all 3 runs in the 4th. They have 2 hits to show for their offense tonight, but to their credit, they have capitalized on their lone and biggest opportunity. Steck is 0 for 1, hit by a pitch, 14th time this season, his last time up. And Volchko sends a strike in with a fastball, 0-1. So 5, 6, and 7 due up here for Santa Clara. As Steck slices that one foul, and it's quickly 0-2. Volchko came in and worked around a single and a walk, and got a Efren Manzo double play ball to help him end the 5th. Theme of this game has been runners left on. The pitch, high, tight. Santa Clara has only stranded 4 so far, 1 of them being in scoring position. Meanwhile, last inning, the top of the 6th for Stanford was their first 1-2-3 frame of the night on offense. Steck swings and sends this one to center. Originally hot, went back, and now comes in to make the catch, and there's 1 out. But prior to that, in the first 5 innings, Stanford just could not get a run across when they needed a hit with men in scoring position. They have stranded 9 through 6 innings tonight. That is why Santa Clara, with just 2 hits, leads in this game. Coleman Brigman to the dish. Has walked twice and scored. Breaking ball low. I guess one of the reasons they haven't needed too many hits in order to put runners on is Stanford's pitching staff has done the job for them. Brigman leaves that pitch up. 5 walks allowed by the Cardinal staff, along with a hit by pitch. Brickman trying to kickstart something here. He swings at the 2-0 and fouls it off. There's been electric stuff for pretty much every pitcher in this game for Stanford. Ryan Speciak started the game, went 3 1/3, did not allow a hit. 2-1 offering. Front door breaking ball, called a strike. I think Brickman thought that was a little up. Nevertheless, Speciak also struck out 3, but he walked 4, gave up the 3 runs, only one of which was earned. Brickman stays alive. We'll keep it here. And then Ben Reimers pitched 2/3 of an inning out of the bullpen. Collected a strikeout. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Nice tight slider there from Volchko. And there's 2 gone for Santa Clara. So second strikeout of the game for the freshman. As again, Volchko strikes out and walks just about as many as innings pitched. But with the bases cleared and 2 gone, Malcolm Williams will come to the plate looking for his first knock of the night. That's a bounce ball. 1-0 now. Williams this year has reached base in 9 straight games. During that time, he's got 6 walks, has been hit 5 times, and is halfway to first base here. Now 2 balls and no strikes. But a near 500 on-base percentage has really been where Malcolm Williams has added to this offense. Spoke earlier about the return of Robert Hipwell. Well, it allows someone like Williams, who's been kind of gravitating up and down through the order, to probably get to a more appropriate spot. Not that he doesn't have pop and an ability to slash balls to opposite alleys with ease, but if you could put that kind of hitter in the bottom third of your order, it's just a reflection of how much firepower you do have. And there's a strike. So 3-1 now to Williams. Hitter's count here. Infield and outfield set straight up. Williams checks his swing. Oh, but he did go around. We'll halt that music. And the on-deck batter, Kai Cunningham, going to have to toss him his barrel back. Let's take another look here. A little tight. I actually do think he went around. I think that's a good call. So perhaps tried to sell it. Now the payoff. Inside, ball 4. So make it 10 consecutive games in which Malcolm Williams has reached safely. He was dangerously close there. Baseball gods smile favorably upon him. And now Jordan Lewis is going to pinch hit for Kai Cunningham. So Cunningham had been playing in left field for Tarantino. Now gives way to Jordan Lewis. Who's out there? First pitch, runner goes. Ball is up. And the throw down to second base is in time. Malcolm Moore guns down Malcolm Williams. Little Malcolm on Malcolm crime there. And that ends the 6th. But Santa Clara still leads 3-1 as we're 2/3 of the way through tonight's entertainment. Back with more after this. My name is Evan Giddings on ESPN+.
Broncos.com and follow the Bronco Boys on
So 9 outs to play with for both sides as we go to the 7th inning here at Stephen Schott Stadium. Hott, McDonald, and Moore, 2, 3, and 4 do up for the Stanford Cardinal. And Blake Hammond back to the mound. Gets a first pitch pop-up. Foul territory, third base side. Hipwell drifting towards the camera well, and he watches it fall foul. I was going to say that's nearly 2 pitches and 2 outs for Blake Hammond, who came in and retired Cobb on the first fastball that he saw. Ethan Hott is 0 for 3 this evening. And And behind in the count, 0-1. As Hammond rocks and delivers. And there's an off-speed pitch that misses for ball one. Hammond again coming off a season in which he was kind of a utility pitcher. 1-1 pitch is chopped foul. Now a 2-strike count on the Stanford center fielder. Went 6-1 with a 2.53 ERA a year ago. Was named second team All West Coast Conference. 1-2. Check swing. Oh my gosh. And yes, he did go around as Hott tried to use his entire frame to keep that barrel from crossing the plane to no avail. So first strikeout of the game for Hammond. One away. Down to a knee and soared. Shout out pitching that do. So here's Court McDonald. He's reached twice tonight. 1 for 2 on the evening with a hit by pitch. And it takes a ball. Here's the offering, and it's low and away. But again, last season, Hammond, it was like they could pretty much use him for any role. I mean, whether it was middle relief, first man out of the bullpen, 2-0 offering, bunch shown, and it's taken for a strike here. Now 2 balls and a strike on Court McDonald. But, I mean, he would have outings in which he'd go 1 inning toward the back end of the bullpen, as that's high, ball 3. There would be some games in which Hammond would basically bridge just a slow start to the end of the game in a couple of 4+ inning outings out of the bullpen, as this one is stung, but right at Cleary. Gobbles it up and flicks to first, and there's 2 away. So, Hammond is trying to get back to that level. Perhaps part of it was trying to grow into more of a starting pitcher, in which he was at the beginning of the year. And I think that was more of a byproduct of the rest of the staff not holding its weight. But now with everything beginning to cement itself, and necessarily so, trending towards the second half of conference play, as here's Moore, swings and misses at that pitch, 0-1. Hammond is back to where he probably should be. I mean, it's Tuesday night, it's a midweek game, but probably going to see him more in the role that he was phenomenal in last year. Over the top breaking ball that time. 1 ball and 1 strike on Malcolm Moore, who is 1 for 2 with a double. Also, gunned down Malcolm Williams to end the 6th inning. Swing and a miss, and another back foot breaking ball. Nice spot by Hammond, and it's 1-2. Hammond trying to complete the second consecutive 1-2-3 frame for Santa Clara. Here it is, and it's a swing and a miss. 3 consecutive breaking balls as he puts Moore down on strikes. 6 in a row retired by the Santa Clara staff, and a 3-1 lead for the Broncos as it's time to stretch at Stephen Schott Stadium. And we'll be back after this. Evan Giddings with you on ESPN+. So we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Santa Clara on top of Stanford here in the first of 2 meetings this season. Next one will be next Tuesday at Stanford. 3-1 is our score. Broncos trying to move above 500. And Stanford is 21st loss right now in the driver's seat to do so, but a lot of game left. It'll be Ben Cleary, followed by, Jordan Lewis, followed by Ben Cleary, and then John Baring, because Jordan Lewis was at the plate when Malcolm Williams was thrown out and caught stealing to end the 6th. So Lewis, powerful right-handed hitter, batting .258 this year. Nearly 100 at-bats under his belt. His 2nd season with the Broncos. Looks at a first pitch ball from Volchko. So Joey Volchko, since coming out of the bullpen, has gotten around 3 base runners, has not allowed a run. Loads up, and the pitch. Lewis foul tipped it, but either way it's a strike. 1-1. Lewis this season has hit 1 home run, Total of 11 extra base hits, has driven in 19, and takes a front door breaking ball in for strike 2. He's also flashed quite a bit of speed. 8 stolen bases, despite not being the everyday outfielder or DH. 1-2. Chops it at home plate and actually got a piece of him, so we'll keep it here at 1-2. And Lewis has been used in a variety of spots. I've seen him in center field once, out in left, which he is currently at tonight after replacing the pinch hitter Kai Cunningham defensively. Also a lot of DHing duties for Lewis. Here's the 1-2. That's up high, good eye. In fact, talked to Rusty Filter earlier in the year about Lewis, and he said he's someone that they would love to feature more of, but it's just a numbers game, especially with someone like Hipwell returning to the lineup. 2-2, stays inside of that pitch and sends it into camera well foul. So Lewis is a valued member, of course, of this program, but just trying to figure out where pieces are going to fit. It's been the odd man out in a few situations. Here's the 2-2. A little excuse me swing, but got just enough of it. So, a nice battle between Volchko and Lewis occurring right now. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Here it is. Another foul tip. Lewis will just not go down without a fight. This will be the 35th pitch of the game for Volchko. Big prime number on his back. Delivers the 2-2. Lewis hits it to the left side, cut off in the hole by Becerra. The throw is in time. Beats the speedy Lewis by a hair, and that is a long at-bat resulting in the first out. So Becerra with a nice and necessary play over at third base to get the elusive Jordan Lewis, and now Ben Cleary will get an opportunity. A couple flyouts in the game. Draws Becerra in on the grass over third, or the grass-like turf, probably more aptly put. But ball one now, as Cleary, in just his first year in the South Bay, is making his 35th start of the season out of 37 games, all of which have been at second base. And while the likes of Johnny Tarantino, who started in left field tonight, had a hamstring injury that he suffered first series of the season against Arizona State, 2-0 pitch is high and tight, ball 3. Because of the injury to Tarantino, it opened the door for Cleary, who had some struggles out of the gate, but now has just solidified his role on the right side of that infield. 3-0 is down the heart. And also, at the bottom of this order, has been a contact hitter, but more importantly, a tough out. The amount of pitches per at-bat that Cleary tends to see, as demonstrated by this one here, earns a walk, cannot go understated. It's not something that really shows up as much of a statistically driven game baseball is. It's not something that really shows up in the box score. So with one out now and a runner on first base, Santa Clara trying to get some insurance here in the later stages. John Berry will come to the plate. Trying to find himself on base for the first time tonight. Draws Becerra in about 45 feet from home plate at third. Takes a pitch off the plate away. For Volchko, who's now pitching into his third inning out of the bullpen, has gone three times previously this year. Just missed there. pitched 3 innings, allowing 2 unearned runs back on the 5th of March against California. Went 4 innings on March 25th against Creighton, allowing 2. And then 3 runs against Washington State, also allowing 2 runs. 2-0 pitches outside. That last outing was on April 7th. So it's been a while since Volchko, who again has been used pretty frequently out of the bullpen. This is his 16th appearance as a reliever. Has had a chance to have an extended opportunity. The 3-0. And Bering takes a strike. One of the reasons could be the erratic nature of his lines. But here tonight, Volchko has been locked in. The pitch. Ball 4. Of course, those free passes are beginning to mount. Back-to-back walks to begin the inning. After the leadoff ground out. But Volchko has now walked 4 in 2 1/3. And with the back of the cap flipped down, we'll have a quick chat with Moore. So Cleary into scoring position. Santa Clara trying to add to their 2-run lead with Bering on first base. A lot of speed on the base paths right now for Santa Clara. As now Moore is going to relay some signs of the infield. Not sure if the Cardinal are expecting a bunt situation here. Although with Hipwell coming up next, might not be out of play. O'Hara tonight is singled. He's 1 for 3. He does not show bunt here. Instead, he takes one in the turf. And judging the last couple of at-bats, I have to imagine O'Hara's going to be patient here. The 1-0 offering leaves it off the plate outside. So 2 balls and no strikes now, as a right-hander is warming in the Stanford bullpen by the name of Cassius Thomas. Or Cassius Thomas, apologies. 2-0. And now 3-0. Cassius might want to get warm quick because it's been a revolving door right now in terms of walks. There's a strike. Volchko walked clear in a 3-1 count. He walked Bering in a 3-1 count. And we'll see if he can find the strike zone against O'Hara. The pitch. O'Hara takes ball 4. And Volchko has walked the bases loaded after retiring the leadoff man. And so there's nowhere to put Hipwell, who has walked 3 times tonight. Santa Clara has earned now 9 walks against this Stanford pitching staff, along with a hit by pitch, 10 free passes handed out. And you might be wondering how Santa Clara has the lead with 2 hits, and there's your answer. As now Stanford's pitching coach will head to the mound to have a word with Volchko. Not sure if he is buying a bit of time for Thomas in the bullpen, but we'll see. He's staring that way. I'm just trying to chat up the reliever a little bit, along with the infield. Lots of smiles. Can't really do enough lip reading to see what they're talking about or saying, as Alex Nash is being left at the party right now. And now finally they break it up. But Stanford's going to stick with Volchko against Robert Hipwell. Hipwell has scored once tonight. This guy has been an on-base machine. He's 4 for 8 so far at the plate in now 3 games. And he's got 5 walks. Bases juiced. The pitch. And there goes the bat. Into the Santa Clara dugout. Ugly finder. I don't think I've ever seen that. Luckily, no one got hit, but, well, by the bat. Yeah, someone get him some stickum. Little pine tar. Gets a nice round of applause from the home crowd. Yeah, let's try and keep the bat and the ball in fair territory. Nonetheless, a long, not even a foul ball, but thrown bat for strike one. Here's the second offering. Just missed. Volchko with a look towards the dugout, wondering where that pitch missed. And now, Alex Nash explains to the Stanford dugout it was outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cleary on third, Behring on second, O'Hara from first. Hipwell slashes it foul into the Stanford bullpen. Just the second time in his 4 plate appearances, he's found himself in a 2-strike count. Has been aboard in his first 3 games now, 7 of his first 10 times. The pitch. Whoa! A little high and outside. Lucky that Moore stuck that. Some slight arm side run. A lot of hitting room towards right center for Hipwell. Bases juice with 1 out. And that is strike 3 called. Volchko paints the bottom of the strike zone and puts it right there to collect out number 2. Hipwell's got a good eye, but I think that was a really nice pitch by Volchko. 3rd strikeout of the game, and a good time for it. But not out of trouble yet. Manzo, who is 0 for 3 tonight, now steps to the plate with a chance to do some damage. Chance to open up this lead. He chops the first pitch he sees foul. Ended the 5th inning with runners in scoring position. Trying not to make it 2 consecutive at-bats. Manzo has made a name for himself in his clutch ability. Now sees a fastball over his head, and it caroms right back to the catcher. Moore had to almost throw Nash out of the way as a wise decision at third by Cleary not to go. I'll just let him know you can do it. I mean, that certainly doesn't give the batter an idea of what to expect. The pitch. Curveball hit right to the third baseman. Becerra picks it up and goes to third. Inning over. So Santa Clara loads the bases but gets none. And through 7 innings, they lead Stanford here on Tuesday night, 3-1. Back with the 8th after this. My name is Evan Giddings, and you're watching Stanford and Santa Clara on ESPN+. Well, another look at the highlight or low light, depending on how you look at it, of the last inning. Santa Clara stranded the bases loaded, but not after a flair for the dramatic by Robert Hipwell. You see him knocking leather with Blake Hammond as we go to the 8th inning here at Stephen Schott Stadium. Evan Giddings with you on ESPN+. Santa Clara leads Stanford 3-1. And Hammond, who has continued a string of now 7 consecutive Cardinal batters retired, will begin the frame with Jimmy Nadeye. The first pitch to him is a breaking ball that falls in. 0-1. Nadeye be followed by Larson and Sohm here in the inning as the left fielder is looking for his first hit. 0-1 pitch. Another breaking ball. And it's low this time, 1-1. Stanford has not had a hit since the 5th inning. Really wasted a few prime opportunities. Another hit is now as that ball is flipped into left field. Jordan Lewis comes in and fires it back into the infield. But a leadoff single for Nadeye. He's got his first knock of the night and the 7th Stanford hit of the evening. So leadoff base runner will now bring the tying run to the plate here in the 8th. And it's Brandon Larson. Larson certainly has the ability to notch us at 3. A couple of home runs this year in 13 starts. And the first pitch by Hammond is outside for ball 1. He's got a double and 2 walks tonight and has scored the lone run on the board for Stanford. That was all the way back in the 2nd. Another off-speed pitch by Hammond is in for a strike, 1-1. I mean, Stanford stranded runners on 2nd and 3rd in the 1st inning, the 2nd inning, the 3rd inning, and then left 1 in scoring position in the 5th. Larson just gets a piece of that, and the count is now a ball and 2 strikes. So they have had their opportunities, squandered a couple of them, and are now trying to battle back in a game that I'm sure a lot of members on that side of the field feel like should be theirs, or at least in their control. Here's the pitch. Hammond, backdoor breaking ball. Strike 3 called. And Larson is set down on strikes. 3rd K of the game for Blake Hammond.
Designated hitter, Charlie Salt.
Hammond now, who came in with 2 outs in the 6th. He's trying to get through his 2nd full inning of work, and here's Psalm. First pitch. There's the off speed. 0-1. Psalm singled his first time up. Has been silent since. Emblematic of his team as a whole tonight. Ball and a strike now on that pitch that's bouncing the turf. Curious to see if Hammond gets through this inning unscathed, if he's allowed to go out for the 9th. Pitch count just above 20. It's been economic so far. Pickoff attempt is late. Nat Eye so far this year has danced around the base paths 5 times and stolen 3 bases. The pitch, check swing, and he did not go around. But Stanford would love to create an opportunity to grab multiple runs here. They have a few table setters as we trend towards the bottom of this order. That right there is strike 2. Well, that's the beauty of the breaking ball. A lot of pitchers will typically feature their off-speed stuff, changeup, breaking ball, slider, curveball, whatever you want to call it, off their fastball. Another pickoff attempt. This one a little closer. And they're going to call balk on Hammond. So that moves Nat Eye in the scoring position. And I think they got him for moving that front foot first. Yeah, you can see the first base umpire, Bill Northridge, afterwards. You're kind of pointing at that left leg. That is the lead leg for Hammond, who strikes out looking Charlie Sohm. So how about that? 1 balk. Well, there's a K in balk. But 2 strikeouts in the inning, and there's 2 gone. 4 total in the game for Hammond out of the bullpen. And now has a chance to throw up another 0 if he can get Trevor Haskins out. The pitch. Breaking ball in for a strike. So to finish up the point, and there's another balk. Wow. And I think this time it was because he didn't come set. Not on the pickoff attempt. So we got a balk move that resulted in the balk is there's a righty in the Santa Clara bullpen by the name of Max Bales, and that is their closer. Count is 0-0. And this one is sent into right field on a line. Haskins delivers a clutch RBI single and draws the Cardinal within 1 here in the 8th. So with 2 outs, 2 balks after the leadoff single, allow Haskins to drive home Nat Eye, and it's 3-2. Haskins with a multi-hit night. Nat Eye trots in, and here's Becerra. First pitch to him is off speed. Hammond feels like he's been throwing his breaking ball probably 60, 70% of the time. So if he decides to sneak a fastball by you, it just explodes. There's a curveball. That's batted foul, 0-2. He's got some options here. Timo tonight, up until one batter ago, had driven in the lone run. Again, all the way back in the second. 0-2 pitch is outside. Throw it on the second base. The runner got a late jump, and he is gunned down. Haskins is absolutely leveled by Ben Steck, and that is how the top of the eighth inning comes to a close. So Stanford gets one on a base hit, no errors, and nobody left on after the caught stealing. 3-2. Santa Clara leads to the ninth inning we go. Bottom of the eighth inning we go on ESPN Plus. So the final throw of the inning, it's ended. The top of the eighth inning, I should say, on a laser beam stuck into second base by Ben Steck, who now leads off the bottom half of the eighth in front of the home crowd here. Student tailgate before the party at Stephen Schott Stadium, and many members still hanging around on a frigid evening in the South Bay. First pitch from Volchko, and Steck hits it off the inside part of the bat, and what a play out in center field made by Cobb. An over-the-shoulder grab as he hauls it in for the first out. Immediately a second look. We got to take a second glimpse at Cobb, who lunged over his left shoulder right into the webbing. And Steck has been robbed by this Cardinal defense now multiple times tonight. What out? Coleman Brigman now. And the pitch is swung on and missed. A one-run game. And what has been a back-and-forth affair. Stanford got its run in the second. Santa Clara got all three of its runs in the fourth. Here's the pitch. And it's a fastball, I guess a little bit inside. That one looked pretty good. Volchko trying to finish out this game. Came out of the bullpen in the fifth. Taking his time here. The 1-1 is also in. I think that one might have been off the plate. The one prior, though, that was pretty good. Here's the 2-1 count. Brigman will be followed by Williams. And now there is some chatter from the Stanford dugout, and Nash has had enough of it. And going to be honest, it's a little self-inflicted. On the home plate umpire, I should say. That pitch is low and away. Brigman did not go around, and it's 3 balls and a strike over there. And David Esker, you can see the nearest man to the dugout in the red jacket, probably not happy with the strike zone. Hitters count. Brigman shoots it to the right side. Larson dove for it, and so Volchko's going to have to cover. Brigman beats him to the bag. Well, not a wise play by Larson. He's a large person. He's got some range, but that ball was clearly hit to second base. So it kind of got stuck. And now Esker's going to trot out to have a word with the first base umpire, Bill Shortridge. I don't know if they're going to be able to overrule that. It got beat? No way. No way, he says. And that's the explanation. At least at first glance. Hold on. So, oh, actually, I take that back. He's out. That is a bad call. Well, had a couple of calls here so far in the inning that have gone in the way of Santa Clara. We'll see if they can capitalize on them, or if the ball don't lie. So Brigman, after the infield single, now makes way for Malcolm Williams. First pitch he sees, he slices it down the right field line. That's a fair ball. Brigman can fly from the corner. McDonald tries to play it in, but It rolls into the bullpen, and that's going to be a ground rule double. So Brigman, who would have scored easily from first, has to put the brakes on. And Williams has a one-out double. So again, instead of one out with a runner on second, one out with runners in scoring position, there probably should be 2 outs with a runner on second base. And now Jordan Lewis has a chance to add some much-needed insurance for Santa Clara. It's a one-run game. Max Bales, the Santa Clara closer, in all likelihood will be coming into the game as the infield is drawn in for the Cardinal, and Lewis takes a first pitch strike. Lewis in his first at-bat off the bench, grounded out to third. Replaced by Cunningham, whose bases clearing single with an error is right now the difference in this game. A 1 pitch. Taps it softly up the first baseline. Tough play for Larson. Tries to apply the tag. Lewis looked like he got around it, and he's going to be safe. Coming in to score the insurance run is Brigman, and it's a 4-2 Santa Clara lead. I mean, Lewis just put the juke on Larson. And, of course, Esther is going to come out to ask if he's out of the baseline. I'm not sure how far he was. That seemed pretty clean. I don't think he's out of the baseline there. I can understand the frustration, especially considering what has preceded that play in this inning. But I don't think that was a bad call at all. I think Larson got caught in no man's land because it was a soft roller. He had no play at home plate. There was no force available to him except at first, which he wasn't going to get to. So all he had to do, or all he could do, was try and swipe at Lewis. And he couldn't tag him. So that's an RBI infield single for Jordan Lewis, as also Williams moves to third base. And Brigman makes it a 4-2 Santa Clara lead here in the home half of the 8th. Pardon me, Williams. Pardon me. Yes. Rented lips. Williams is still at second base. Yeah, so apologies. Williams did not move. Runners at second and first for Ben Cleary, who takes a strike. Cleary tonight, 0 for 2 with a walk in his last plate appearance. Here's the 0-1, and it is inside. Again, a 4-2 Santa Clara lead on the infield single by Jordan Lewis. The 1-1. Cleary shoots it right back up the box. It's taken there by Cobb to Haskins. Tries to turn it, and they do. A 4-6-3 double play ends the inning, but not before Santa Clara gets one, as Lewis's infield single brings in an insurance run and gives the Broncos a 2-run lead to the 9th. We go. And I believe at the end of this inning, David Isker has just been tossed. More on that ejection on the other side when we return on ESPN+. And so back here at Stephen Schott Stadium, you are watching David Esker be escorted from the premise. And that is because he was ejected at the very end of the 8th inning. But we head to the 9th with Santa Clara leading Stanford here at home 4-2. And they turn things over to the freshman flamethrower and closer, Max Bales. 6'3", 215-pound right-hander out of San Diego, California. And he's making his 13th appearance out of the bullpen this year. He's got a couple of saves this year. 4.02 ERA and 31 and a third innings pitched. Has struck out 39 while walking 13. And that is an unhappy Stanford dugout. To kind of quickly recap what went down in the 9th, it was Santa Clara that got an infield single courtesy of Coleman Brigman on a bang-bang play at first in which he probably should have been ruled out. There was frustration with the strike zone as Bales begins the inning with a breaking ball to the leadoff man. in Becerra and takes it for a strike. And so Max Bayless gets a ground ball up the third baseline and foul. So Bayless out in front here, 0-2. What else happened in that inning was a Jordan Lewis single with a runner at second and third, in which Stanford felt like a tag as a breaking ball is checked at, and he did go around. There's a strikeout to begin the inning for Bayless. Picks up a K. So Lewis ran around a tag applied by the first baseman Larson, was ruled to be in the baseline, and then at the end of the inning, Esker just basically blew up after those three successive slights that Stanford felt and was tossed from the game by Alex Nash. So that gets us to our point now. Bayless buries a breaking ball low to the leadoff man, Owen Cobb, who tonight is 1 for 3 with a sac bunt. Bayless has not allowed an earned run in his last 8 2/3 innings. It's a check swing here. Did not go around. So the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Bayless loads up here and delivers. And here's a fastball high and away. Has struck out at least one batter in all 13 appearances this season. Here's the pitch. And it's upstairs for ball 4. So strikeout on 3 pitches, followed by a 4-pitch walk. Now brings the tying run to the plate in the form of Ethan Hott. And the center fielder will match up against the freshman. Last time he earned a save was on March 30th against San Francisco. And that was because it was a 3-inning save. It's a foul ball. It's chopped off the foot of Hott, and the count is 0-1. First and lone save situation in the traditional sense was against Utah. Pitched the final 2 innings of that game. That was also a Tuesday night game. And what was a close victory against the Utes. Went 2 scoreless in the back end. Here's the 0-1, and it's low. Hot tonight. Looking to find some barrel. Hipwell hugs the line at third. Middle infield pitches for 2. 1-1 pitch is ruled a strike, I believe. So now a 1-2 count. Bayless comes set from the bell. Kicks and fires, and that pitch is high. Wind has softened, blowing from foul pole to foul pole, right to left throughout the majority of this evening. 2-2 pitch is low and away outside with a fastball. So Bayless has got to conjure up something in the zone here. 3-2 is the count. Cobb with good speed from first. You don't want to put the tying run on. And he won't. This is a ground ball to shortstop. This might be it. To second for 1. Cleary on the first ball game as Bayless comes in and slams the door shut as Santa Clara silences Stanford here on Tuesday night by a 4-2 final. Well, they only got 5 hits. In fact, they only had 2 through the first 6 innings of this game. But Santa Clara capitalizes with a 3-run fourth and uses that along with an insurance run in the 8th to push across 500. Now 19-18 overall this year, and they grab the first of the 2 midweek meetings against the defending Pac-12 champions. So a quality victory for Santa Clara tonight. Again, 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors, and 8 left to board. Stanford 2 runs on 8 hits, 1 error, and 9 left on. And winning pitcher for Santa Clara is going to be Victor Martinez, who goes 3-1. Bayless picks up his 3rd save of the season. Meanwhile, the loss on the Stanford side is handed to Ryan Speciak. He gave up the 3 runs in the 4th inning. Final look at the total there. And a reminder that Santa Clara is going to be back at it this weekend against St. Mary's. 6 o'clock first pitch on Friday. 1 o'clock on Saturday, 12 on Sunday. If you can't join us in person, you can join us right here on ESPN Plus. And for the entire ESPN Plus production team, my name is Evan Giddings saying so long and thanks for watching. Where one last time, Santa Clara defeats Stanford by a final score of 4-2. We appreciate you tuning in. This has been a presentation of ESPN. We'll talk to you next time.
For full details, visit SantaClaraBroncos.com/sports/baseball. And then we hope you have a great rest of your night. Arrive at the next destination safely. See you next time.
Can't be a fun of